yeah, now you're just being a journalist. Like, are you here for the demo or are you here to do an interview?
Yeah.
Wait, now hold on, don't cover them up exactly.
These are all created by the incredible craftsmen and artisans working on our film.
We started to think, I went to Jim, I said, Jim, I think we're at a point where we can be the impetus to push technology to allow us to finally tell the story of this movie.
Oh Jesus, we're on camera for all of this. Like, you're supposed to be engaged in this. All right.
It starts though with world building.
In 2009, I saw the first Avatar 8 times in theaters.
Well, thank you.
But all of these arrows, every costume piece, every knife, every weapon is built physically so Jim can understand the physics of it in the real world.
At the time, we knew the technology did not exist to make the movie the way we wanted to make it. And when I say that to people, sometimes they get confused and they think I'm talking about 3D. 3D had nothing to do with it. For us, it was about putting up emotive and engaging characters up on the screen to tell the story. And that's what didn't exist.
Dad, I know you think I'm crazy. I hear her heartbeat.
In 2005, we started to think, I went to Jim, I said, Jim, I think we're at a point where we can be the impetus to push technology to allow us to finally tell the story of this movie. It starts, though, with world building.
So what does her heartbeat sound like?
My team.
Hi everybody, my name is Josh. I'm the head of the franchise division here at Lightstorm Entertainment. Just for the room, what does franchise do? We are responsible for everything and anything that is not the movie. That is everything including, but not limited to, action figures, video games, theme parks, and everything in between. So let's start with these two right here. So these two Na'vi, these were actually created by Gentle Giant. These were for in-theater photo opportunities. So there's 4 sets of these. They were all scattered around Los Angeles, primarily at AMC theaters. So this is Neytiri in her jungle, essentially her Omatakaya costume, and this is Jake in one of his final battle, basically his final battle look, right before the end of the film in Avatar: The Way of Water. The fun thing about these, they're actual size. But all of these arrows, every costume piece, every knife, every weapon is built physically so Jim can understand the physics of it in the real world. So things like the shoulders, that kind of sliding pivot was something that Jim really worked hard on in terms of its engineering. And this guy is actually just one really big action figure, and it's fully articulated. So it could be posed if you wanted it to be. These are all created by the incredible craftsmen and artisans working on our film. These busts are not actual size, but these are created by our costumes and props and development and design departments to basically get approval and alignment on paint, makeup, hair, accessories. So, does Jim like the way that they have painted the Tonawari skin tone? Because the Metkayina clan are reef people. They have a different skin tone because they are a reef people. They are a marine adapted clan that's different than the forest dwelling Omatakai clan. So does this work? Are the bioluminescent dots right? Interestingly enough, these were done early in the process where you can see those maquettes down there. They have golden eyes and so do this. But as the development went on, Jim actually changed the Metkayina eye color to blue.
Buddy, I have no idea what you just said.
Technology tends to accelerate on an inverse bell curve. So you get these moments of very quick growth and then it falls off. It just it'll depend. There is a limit to how much we can push the technology. The technology itself is not the thing that's moved forward. It's the artistic use of the technology. A lot of the pieces that we use on movie 1 existed years before that, and I'll go back all the way to before Lord. There was versions of good capture systems that existed. They just weren't being utilized in a manner where it was a value add to the art. Mentally, we've gotten to the point where we could capture underwater. We could give the actors the freedom, and I say underwater, I mean in water, because underwater is one thing that we had to solve. We had to find a spectrum, and it turned out to be a UV spectrum that travels through water quickly. Ultimately, this is what we're talking about. You can see what looks like a plain white sheet, a big silk above them, but if you look closely, it is hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of tiny little balls. And what it allows us to do is it still value our reference. You can see this system, our paradigm shift in our filmmaking, in a lot of ways, is the introduction of editorial into a process, a filmmaking process, before we ever have shots.